Hello there. I am here with the Reverend Dr. Ann Stewart, and she is going to be our Zoom theologian for July. So, Ann, it's so fun to see you again. Ann and I we overlapped when we were doing our Master's of Divinity at Princeton Seminary. And she also grew up in Camp Hill Presbyterian Church, which was where I had my first call. So we got to enjoy a little bit of time there as well.
Robin, it's so great to see you.
As well. So, Anne, just give us a sense for where you are and what you are doing in the midst of this season.
Sure, thanks. So I currently live in Princeton, New Jersey. So I am coming to you from my study here in Princeton. I work at Princeton Theological Seminary, where I serve as the Vice President for External Relations. So I do lots of different things in that role, including communication, admissions, financial aid, and a variety of other things. But my formal training is actually in Old Testament. Did my PhD at Emory University, and do a little bit of teaching here occasionally. But I often like to say I moonlight as an Old Testament scholar, since that is my actual training and first love, but do that on the side.
Well, that's great. We're glad for you to do that on the side with us starting on Monday. So tell us a little bit about what you will be sharing on these 2 Mondays.
Yeah, so really excited to look at the book of Proverbs in particular, and to do a basic introduction to the wisdom literature of the Old Testament. So I wrote my dissertation on the book of Proverbs, and I think it's a wonderfully interesting book, but it is a book that's often ignored in the church. It doesn't show up in the lectionary very often.
Yeah.
We don't hear much about it in the church. And so I think it's always great to dust off some of those books that we don't hear about very often and learn a little bit more about them. So we'll be doing that. And then we'll also put Proverbs in conversation with our modern culture. One of the things I think is particularly relevant about the book of Proverbs is that it's a book about how to be wise in the world. And so that's something all of us need more of in these days. And in particular, it's a book about how to discern among competing voices. So the book is full of lots of different voices who are all offering their kind of brand of wisdom. And the book is really about shaping the student who has to go out into the world and discern which are the wise voices from the foolish voices. How do I pick them out and have the discipline and discernment to follow the right course? And so to me, this is directly relevant to our modern culture right now, especially the way in which technology just puts so many different competing voices in front of us all the time, especially with our phones. We just have so many voices that are shouting at us all day long. And this, we have to figure out, which are the right voices to listen to. And this is exactly what the book of Proverbs is about. So we'll talk about that.
Wow. Yeah, it's definitely a season for competing voices. And it's hard to live in that tension. So hopefully you can offer us some wisdom in that. I am curious though, Anne. I knew you'd done your dissertation on Proverbs. Why did you choose Proverbs?
Oh yeah, great question. Well, I have to admit, even myself, I hadn't really had that much familiarity with the wisdom literature. And I did a lot of work on biblical poetry. I'm very interested in the poetry of the Bible and what it means to read it as poetry, which is the other interesting thing about Proverbs, that it is a book of poetry. And I was reading through it one day, almost, trying to look at it from reading it for the first time. And it struck me that Proverbs sounded so much like the Song of Songs. It sounded so much like love poetry. And so I said, I wonder, why is that? And then that sort of got me started, and ended up writing a book about it. So.
Oh, great. Well, thank you. I appreciate you answering that random question for me. So Anne will be sharing with us about the book of Proverbs this coming Monday on July 13th at 7 o'clock, and also the next Monday after that. So July 20th at 7 o'clock. If you can come to both sessions, great, or just one, but we will glean a little bit more about the book of Proverbs. So thank you, Anne, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see all of you.
Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.